Hi, I'm Thrifty Tim. I know it's been a while since I last did filmed a video for BookTube. It was back around the middle of August, and we were in the middle of March Mystery Madness at the time. So I'll let you know a little bit about that in this video. This is pretty much I'll be doing like you could say my very late reading wrap up for March Mystery Madness, and also I'll let you know about what's been going on during the time I was out and stuff. I'll even show you what I've read during that time and what I'm going to be reading in July. Oh, sorry about that. But so I'll start out with what's been going on. Okay, yes, I know. I had told you I was admitted to the hospital for like 24 hours. This was back in February. I had a blackout, and so they had kept me in the hospital for observation for 24 hours because I had a blackout and failed. So in March and April I had a lot of doctor's appointments, and I had some in March, and I was going to one in March, and after that they wanted me to use my walker, and after my blackout, after my stay in the hospital, and I was going to my doctor at the VA clinic here in Rockford. Was taking the bus there. I had to switch buses. Just had to get to the bus stop I need. I had to. This was a busy road that was just long. I had to go up the block to a stoplight, go across the street, and then go back straight across from where I got off the other bus. Anyway, when I was going to get that on the side that bus stop was at that I need to get to, it's along a poorly neglected sidewalk, and the wheel of my walker got caught in it, and I went flying over it, and so my face was bloody and everything. My nose was scraped up, and my left wrist is still bothering me from that. But so now I am on a walker. I'm not supposed to leave my apartment without my walker. But so I've had doctor's appointments and stuff, and that happened towards the end of May. But and I still have more appointments coming up. They're going to start doing physical therapy on my left wrist and my neck after my fall. Okay, and so like I said, I'll show you some of what. For my March Mystery Madness readings. Okay, and I'm going to show you what I've been reading on this tablet too. This is a 10-inch tablet that my wife gave me because she wasn't using it anymore. Trying to get it somewhere you can see it easier. Okay, you see the name of the book is the The Crime of the Century of the Boulevard. This is by Jules Claretie, or I might be butchering it quite a bit. He's French, and this takes place in France. This is a book in the public domain, so the book's been around for close to 100 years anyway. Well, anyway, it's about a man that was killed, and his landlord discovered him, and or the landlady had discovered him in the apartment he was renting, and she goes and lets her husband know to go get the police, and the book follows a policeman that he went to that he knew that was a friend of his, and this friend is that policeman. He's like a detective, but way down in the ranks and stuff. In the French police system, or at least at the time, and but so it covers him following, working on the investigation with the judge that wants him to do it and stuff, and using some of the latest technology at the time. This is like in the late 1800s. So, but it's a pretty good book. It's not a big book. I think that I didn't see any books written by him when I checked online, so I think this was the only book he wrote. And then after that, I read a book. It's more of a short story written by a named Agustee, and this is, or Groner, I should say. He's or Groner. Agustee Groner. He's from she's from Austria. And see, I've been in Austria. I've been in France, both of them when I was stationed in Germany. But this one is, like I said, is more of a short story called "The Case of the Pocket Diary Found in the Snow," where a guy was just laid off from work. It was in the middle of the night. He started walking home, and he heard a noise on the way, or actually along the way he came across like a body on the side of the road. This was during the winter, or he found the diary, I think, first, and the body. And so he goes and lets a police inspector know there, and the inspector asks him if he could help him out with it. He's investigating it. He said sure, and well, he does get tired down there, but this discovers that investigation, which is pretty good. And then, okay, there is, and then the come on now. Yeah, the last one on here was pretty good. By what I saw on like in Wikipedia and stuff, this author's from Canada, but it seemed like the story was taking place in the U.S. This is by Agnes Fleming, and the name of the novel is Sharing Her Crime. This one well, there is like one or two murders in it, but a lot of it is more or less, and that's later on, it's more or less following two babies that were abandoned on a beach near the ocean. And these were by two different people that did it, and it was two different people that did it, and unknowingly these two babies were related. They're not brother and sister, they're like cousins or something like that. And so it's but both the babies are girls, and it follows these girls growing up and stuff, and into adulthood and stuff, and one's like a wild child, and the other one's like a girly girl, you could say, or that type. And there's a lot of mysteries going on throughout the book, and it's real interesting. It's just grabbing me back to read it and finish it. I didn't actually finish this until in April. I did start it before the end of May. But because of all my problems, that's how I got read for March Mystery Madness. And I should tell you, during these months that I haven't been making any videos, I make my rating system where there's only 3 ratings for them. I liked it, it was okay, and I did not like it. Well, I liked it, and all 3 of these where I liked it, and the reason why I'm doing that, hey, Amazon's is expecting us to have great things for them. Well, I decided, hey, who am I to judge it? I may like a book, somebody else will hate it, or DNF it and stuff, so that's why I decided to do that. And also there was one book I DNF'd for March Mystery Madness. That was Crime and Punishment. I always heard that it's a good book, but I just couldn't get into it. This is by Dostoevsky, Fyodor Dostoevsky. And I tried reading the Brothers Karamazov before, and I couldn't get into that either, so I must be something with that with me, but I just can't get into his writing. Okay, then there was one other book I read from this. I haven't read and that's this is like towards the end of April and May. This is by Arthur Conan Doyle, On the Fire Stories. And this one has like some horror stories and some that I consider to be more mysteries. There's also some occult stuff in there and it's pretty interesting. And trying to decide whether to rate it to it's okay or I liked it. It's somewhere between the two, you could say. So that's what I read from on this tab on my 10-inch tablet. And so I'll be coming back to this a little later when I start talking about what I'll be reading. Okay, the next one I'll talk about is my Nook, and I start. Okay, this is I started on here before March Mystery Madness, and this is by Mary Roberts Rinehart, the collected works. And with this one, with this book, okay, how I'm just trying to. Okay, this book is 5,117 pages. It has several over her stories. Most of them are mysteries, and that's why I got it in the first place, because I've read some of her mysteries and liked them. Well, but what I read, I started it in February, and I finished them just at the end of last month. All the Tish stories that aren't mysteries. It's about 3 older women, a little younger than what I am now. I'm in my 60s, so. But it's hilarious. There's that. The main one is Tish. Her actual name is Letitia, but she goes by Tish. Her friend, or Aggie, who suffers from hay fever and stuff like that. And then Lizzie. Lizzie's the narrator of the books, and it just follows them around. There's a number of books in it, and they're just hilarious. So I like those. I'll be back to this too when I come back to what I'm going to be reading next. Okay, and let's see. Okay, and then by Kindle, on here, and I read a story from here in May. See, this is a book that it's in. This is trying to get it so you can see it, or it might have been April. But this is the original adventures of Jenkins Harvey Mega Packets. Their first 8 books in the original stories, because later on they changed it. Rewrote some of the stories, but had to make them a lot different. And I like this story where there was a robbery and stuff, and Joe and Frank solve it. Their dad's a detective, and he did some footwork going to other towns and stuff, and Joe and Frank finally figured it out, and so that's and of course I like that. I'll be reading some more from it I'll be showing with you on that. Well, wait. That's not the only book I read here. I forgot. Get to the other ones. Okay, and see on these, and then for Tune on the Range. Waiting for this to come up, waiting for it to load. Okay. Okay. I had discovered that I had downloaded this sometime or other. But you notice, see, I participated in June on the Range. I read all the stories in this. You notice that there's one by Remorse, which is Canyon Walls, which there's no really gunfighting in it. It's but there's a romance in it between a cowboy and a Mormon girl. But, which was good. I liked it. Next one was Black Sheep by Max Brand. I can't remember the girl's name. Her parents died when she was little, and her uncle, who was somewhat of an outlaw, and his son is she grew up with at their house, and so she was more like a tomboy, like a rough tomboy, and just that when like a killer is trying to get her uncle and cousins to help him with the bank robbery. She sneaks in behind. She hears them talking, and she's anxious to say that, hey, like this murderer or killer was trying to get them to help him with the bank robbery, but the girl wrote to him saying that now they're going to be helping another guy to go after, capture them for the sheriff, and so and it's a pretty good story. And then the Max Brand one pretty much had the most gunplay in it. It's like double the length of or more than double of the first two combined, and that one is sold down on the Hogback, where there's a team of like former soldiers and stuff that the company brings in to try getting people to evict people from their houses, because they're buying the land and they're trying to evict people that had homesteaded there. That they were lying about what the land's like and stuff, saying that it's marshy and stuff, and the guy that was supposed to lead these guys, he discovered that, and so he's going against them, especially after they had tried killing him. So that's what I read here on my Kindle. I'll be back in a bit to show you that. I know this video's a longer one. Next up, I started another well, I was reading the first book I have here before March Mystery Madness, and I put it aside. And it was after I read it, I had decided that okay, I'm adding another category of book to read each month, or at least one, which is a standalone physical book. This is Treasure Island. I read it and I finished it in like May. Of course, the classic Robert Louis Stevenson pirate novel. Okay, then I read two and have made for that. Okay, the first one is 6 column by Robert A. Heinlein. This was originally published in like a pulp format for Amazing Stories. It was the second book he wrote, or novel he wrote, but the first one published, because it was published in the serialized form. And when it was republished, there was it's published as one novel. He added some words to it said like 10,000 words. And this is like a military science fiction. Like I think I said that it was put in Amazing Science Fiction back in 1940, before the United States joined World War II. But it takes place around the time of World War II, but it's a different scenario than it's more like, but they had the weapons and stuff, more advanced weapons and stuff in this, and I really like this one. And then I read another Robert A. Heinlein book, which is that Double Star, which is where actor gets hired to be like a double for a politician, but actually there they had called used him to going with them was this politician has been kidnapped, and he's supposed to make a speech on Mars, and there's a group on Mars that if he didn't show up on time, the politician need to get killed. Well, anyway, this actor looked a lot like the politician, so, and this it just covers him along. There's different things going on with that, and so, and some of it takes place on Mars, some, well, first off on Earth, and then on Mars, and then on the Moon, and I liked it. It's a good book. Okay, now with the ones that I've been reading for a while. First off is my physical book series that I'm working on. Of course, I've been working on reading all the books in the Jack Ryan universe. I own most of them. I can't remember which one this is. This is without Remorse. This is like I think the 5th or 6th, and this one follows John Clark. It's how it goes back in time it goes back showing how he was got to working for the CIA in the first place and everything, which is pretty good. And I'm still, and then I finished that like end of April, or end of beginning of June, and then I started reading this, and this is the next one in this series. See, I'm reading them in not in chronological order, but in publication order. This is Death of Honor, and so this is after pretty much the Cold War has ended and stuff, and so now it's talking about how the militaries have been reduced and stuff, and so far I'm not too far in it. See, I've read through, I'm on page 133, but in this book there's 990 pages. So I still have a good ways to go. And the book that I've been reading the longest, I started reading it last year, and I'm still not that far in it, really. This is Herman Wouk Remembrance. It's a sequel to The Winds of War. This takes place during World War II, after the United States has entered into the war, and it follows the Navy family in it. And it's a father and two sons that are all in the Navy. The father is a commander of a ship, or captain. The oldest son is a naval aviator, and the younger one is a submariner. And so it follows them along during World War II. I'm about read through page 282, and there's over 1,000 pages in this book. Okay, now I get to tell you what I'm going to be reading next. Okay, so get this opened up. Okay, on this on the 10-inch tablet, I've started another series. So I'll be reading. I have like 6 books going at a time, and this one that I'm doing is a special project I'm calling Thrifty Tim's Public Domain Reads, where I'm going to be reading a book from the public domain, at least one a month, hopefully. But this first one might take longer. See, what it is I'm going by, I'm just making a list going by authors that look interesting to me, like what the stories they have and they've written that are in the public domain, and I've just been putting the ones I want to read in a data or in a spreadsheet, and see what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be reading them, the ones that I have in the spreadsheet. The earliest one that I haven't read from Project Gutenberg's book numbering, because they went from the very first book they did and just keep on going that way. Well, this first one is the 15th novel, book that they did, and that was Moby Dick by Herman Melville. So it's a good thing I'm participating in Big Book Summer, because this is a big book. That honors a big book, so it's more in Remembrance. So this is a book I'm reading for, and I'm going to be starting up a blog for this, Thrifty Tim's Public Domain Reads. That's going to be the name of my blog. Okay. On my neck, I'm still in the collected works of Mary Roberts Rinehart. This one is the Manual Origin. I've read this one. Will be a reread for me. It's pretty good. It is a mystery. I haven't started it yet. Okay, for on the Kindle. Okay, run the Kindle. Okay, now waiting for this to come up. Okay. Okay, well. Oh. I'll see if it will come up for me. Well, this is this is Hardy Boys one, and I'm going to be reading the second one in this series. Let me see this now, which is okay. That's The House on the Cliff, it looks like. Yep, The House on the Cliff is the next one I'm reading for that one. Okay, then the next physical standalone book I'm reading is this one I got for free. It's by Frederick Cook. It's called Mafia, and on here, like, Mario Puzo on here writes, reads like a novel, but it's true. Terrific. I thought that looked interesting. And of course, I told you I'm going to be reading, continuing on with Debt of Honor and Warrant of Remembrance. So that's how I've read and what I've been reading. And my life update. So hopefully I'll be back, like a week from today, hopefully anyway, to give an update. I may not always come up every week. It depends on whether I finished a book or the story in that time or not. And so with that said, I think it's I've been on here long enough. So until next time, take it easy and keep on reading.